Some entertainment news now, and Angela Bishop recently got up close and personal with Glee star Cory Monteith, who talked about singing, dancing and all of those screaming fans.
Attention Glee fans, I know it's been 46 days since you last saw a brand new episode of your favourite show, but it'll be back on your television screen soon, I promise. So before you go and do this, let me whet your appetite with an interview starring the one and only Cory Monteith, or as you Gleeks know him, the singing quarterback heartbreaker Finn.
When you were last in Australia, 2009, the show, one episode had gone to air here. It was just starting out.
It's a crazy time.
Describe to me what your life has gone through since then, how different it is now.
I mean, it's a little different now because I guess I'm used to a lot of what happens now. You know, I kind of know that I expect and I anticipate, you know, people wanted to take a photo or, you know, have an autograph or whatever it is. And I guess it was all a big shock for me back then because it was all so new, especially in Australia. It was really the first place that the show really took off. And I remember I was sitting beside Leah and we were like looking at each other like, what is going on? If you go watch that videos of us sitting there, we're like shell-shocked. That was the first time.
So you're going to be all super cool with it. It's like all that now? Yeah. People.
Whatever. No. When you see the look on someone's face, you know, and when they've really been affected by what it is we do, that's really cool.
Unlike his well-behaved on-screen character, Cory had troubled teenage years, leaving school at 16 before his family placed him in rehab at 19.
You didn't have a great teenage life yourself, did you? Does that help you, do you think, in the way that you're able to relate to people and working on the show?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was incredibly just misguided and kind of confused when I was a teenager, especially, as most teenagers are, no offense, but I had my head firmly in my ass as a teenager. Not to say, I mean, I see some kids, you know, friends at our show that are, you know, the ones organizing these resources for their friends who are struggling with these things and trying to do the same things that we're doing on the show charitably. Like, man, you see some really efficient 15-year-olds out there sometimes, and like, how do you guys do that?
If you don't like my attitude, then you can get lost.
What, of course, everyone wants to know is there been a huge rift? Has anyone sort of fallen out, or have you sort of stayed a tight unit because of this enormous adventure you're going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to moan and gripe, but it's like, it's not all, you know, it's not all roses and kitty cats, you know. Sometimes there's some crazy stuff that goes down. Of course, everybody's fallen out, and of course there have been rifts and there's been challenges, but we're closer than family because our lives have been transformed by this thing, you know, and it's so much bigger than any of us, any one of us, or even all of us put together. They're the people that, you know, I could confide in my deepest secret and, you know, who really understand what it is that this process has been like for me personally.
You're in a band too?
Yeah.
Bonnie June?
Bonnie June, yeah.
Where did that name come from?
Came from, actually, an Australian movie called The Castle. That's what's from. It's a place that is like the promised land, you know, at the end of the film, and then they get there at the end of the film, and it's a cesspool, right? So that's where the name came from, and it just kind of stuck.
So, since his first brush with crazed Gleeks here in 2009, have his Australian fans got any less crazy?
So, for instance, if I gave out the address and room number of your hotel just after you leave, what sort of mayhem would you anticipate occurring?
I'd never be able to go back there again.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it would be a great party or something, but I mean, like, I would never, it would be mayhem. So please don't do that.
By Ange Bishop. Thank you, Ange. Keep your eyes peeled for Glee's return to Channel 10 soon. Bonnie Doon.
Isn't that brilliant?
Who would have thought?
It's a very cool band name.